So we have some awesome games coming out this April on Xbox in today's video, and this is a mixture of games that are coming out on Game Pass and games that are releasing on the Xbox Store. And guys, we have some good games that I think you guys are really gonna like. I'm Sonny, your host here at Xbox Central, and we're gonna start this off with Deceit 2. Now, if you've enjoyed your time with games like Among Us and you're looking for something similar but with a twist, Deceit 2 gives you just that. It's a social deception game where you and a bunch of other players are thrown into a horrifying asylum with different goals. Now, as the innocent, your task is to survive long enough to escape the asylum, but as the infected, your job's to take down the innocents without raising any suspicion. Lastly, as the cursed, your goal is to deceive both and become the master of deceit. The game's all about wits, strategy, and teamwork. Of course, playing mind games with other players as you complete your own task and win the game. Deceit 2 is an interesting one. This one arrives on Xbox Series X and S and comes on April 3rd. Botany Manor is a relaxing exploration puzzle game set in a gorgeous looking manor filled with trees and plants, and here you play as a retired botanist who wants to bring this old manor back to its former glory. The game's all about exploring the world of green around you and solving puzzles to discover new plants and take care of the ones around you, and even bring some of the extinct plants back to life. If you're looking for something a little bit laid back and a puzzle game with some soothing gameplay experience, I think this might be it for you, especially if you have Game Pass. This one arrives on Xbox Series X and S as a day one Game Pass release. So if you guys happen to be a fan of strategy games, there's a good chance you'll love this game in Let's Revolution. This is a mind-bending roguelike puzzle game that takes Minesweeper to like a whole new level by adding a ton of strategic elements to it. In this game, you play as one of 6 unique characters, and you're tasked to stop a corrupted king from ruining your world. Now, to do that, you need to navigate this procedurally generated mazes by flipping tiles and fighting tactile turn-based battles with the king's soldiers. There's hundreds of weapons and items and moves to choose from, and the strategic depth in this game really looks mind-blowing. This one arrives on Xbox on April 11th. The game Jack Holmes Master of Puppets is an indie horror survival game that puts you in the shoes of Jack. This is a guy who starts a new job at an amusement park only to encounter his worst nightmare has come to life. The whole park is overrun by these evil animatronics and these creepy creatures with limited ammo and nowhere to run. You have to man up and fight back while you try to discover the secrets behind these mysterious happenings. Jack Holmes is going to be a short horror adventure game that really promises to keep you hooked for a good 4 to 5 hours. This one lands on Xbox Series X and S on April 12th. Now, another game set to join the Xbox lineup this April 12th is Bunhouse. Now, this is a cute looking farming simulation game where you and your friends play as bunnies, taking care of plants, managing greenhouses, selling crops, and just living a peaceful life. This is the perfect game if you just want to relax without any enemies to fight or really any pressures to complete any quests. The game Herald Halibut's dropping this April 16th on Xbox Series X and S, and it's coming as a day one Game Pass release. And this is a story-rich narrative adventure game set aboard a city-sized spaceship that's submerged in this alien ocean. And in this game, you play as Harold. He's a young lab assistant who's tasked to help the lead scientist fix the ship and find a new home on a better planet. Meanwhile, he explores life on the ship by meeting people that are living there and then learning about their stories and helping them with their everyday problems. And I really like how it's got this unique stop-motion animation style, which really gives it this distinct and visually striking appearance. If you guys love a good story game, I think this is one that's definitely worth putting down on your list. So Sker Ritual is the upcoming spin-off of the award-winning horror game Made of Sker, and this game puts you against the relentless waves of mindless monsters known as the Quiet Ones. Here you can choose to take on these monsters alone, or you can tag along with 3 other players. Sker Rituals features an old-school round-based FPS action, with players collecting these power-ups dropped by enemies to upgrade their weapons and items to increase their chances of survival in this brutal world. Now, each round brings new enemies and challenges to the table, really forcing you to come up with new strategies and abilities. It kind of reminds me of like the COD zombies, but with a bit more spookiness to it, which I really like here. Sker Ritual is set to come out on Xbox Series X and S on April 18th. Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes is another promising game making its way to Game Pass this April, and this is a modern take on the classic RPG experience that lets you choose from a massive roster of 100 unique heroes tasked to save the world from total destruction and chaos, and each character comes packed with their own unique skills and abilities that come in handy when fighting enemies in intense turn-based battles. But fighting's not everything that you're gonna do. There's a vast world to explore, there's a cast of quirky characters to meet, and a rich story to shape by the choices that you make. Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes arrives on Game Pass for console and PC on April 23rd. Now, fans of Hollow Knight I think are really going to like this next game. It's called Tales of Kenzera Zau, and it's an awesome looking 2.5D Metroidvania title that puts you in the shoes of a grieving son called Zau, who takes on this wild adventure to revive his dead father by capturing the souls of 3 powerful monsters. Now, Tales of Kenzera really brilliantly combines the elements of exploration, platforming, and combat to create this fine-looking gameplay with gorgeous art style and stunning visual effects. I think this is one of my favorite underrated games coming out this April. It's a promising title, and this one drops on Xbox Series X and S on April 23rd. The classic arcade Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Wrath of the Mutants is also making its way on Xbox on April 23rd. This arcade gem not only brings the same intense action on your new gen console, but it also introduces 3 brand new stages and 6 additional boss battles, and you're getting this ultimate classic gaming experience. If you're into arcade style fighting games with a touch of nostalgia to them, I think this game's definitely worth putting down on your list. So I've talked a lot about this game, Another Crab's Treasure, and guys, this one looks like a really underrated game a lot of you might be ignoring, but I think you shouldn't. It's an action adventure game where you assume the role of a hermit crab who embarks on this wild journey to recover his lost shell, but the road to finding it is going to be a little bit bumpy. There's going to be loads of hostile enemies and unexpected obstacles and challenging puzzles. However, it's the combat where this game really shines the brightest. Another Crab's Treasure comes packed with this intense yet really fun Souls-like combat that has you fighting enemies using makeshift weapons, epic abilities, and insane combos. If you guys are a fan of the Souls-like genre and you're looking for like an easy way in, I think this game's it. It also joins Game Pass on day 1 when it comes out this April 25th. Manor Lords is another promising game joining the Xbox lineup this April, and I feel like it's kind of up there on this list in terms of the more like exciting games. This is a medieval strategy game that puts you in the shoes of a powerful lord in charge of building and managing a developing settlement. With Manor Lords' intricate city building mechanics and strategic gameplay, you can really shape the land however you like. You can build bases, you can craft weapons, and you'll get your army ready for war. Speaking of which, Manor Lords promises to bring realistic portrayals of historical warfare to your screens, really making these battles all that more exciting and immersive. And the good news too, guys, is Manor Lords also arrives on Game Pass as a day 1 game release. So our next game is Sandland. This is an action RPG title that instantly grabbed my attention for a few reasons. For one, Sandland's actually based on a popular manga series by Akira Toriyama. This is the creator of Dragon Ball, so I had to check this one out, and I'm glad I did because the game just looks amazing. You play as this evil Prince Beelzebub and his companions who plan to overthrow this greedy king, and then you got this vast world to explore, these epic vehicular battles with plenty of weaponized vehicles from desert bikes to powerful tanks. Then of course these signature fast-paced anime battles that'll just keep you pumped throughout the game. Sandlands arrives on Xbox Series X and S on April 26. Now the long-running tennis franchise Topspin is also joining the Xbox lineup this April with its latest edition, Topspin 2K25. And I'm a big fan of basketball, baseball, soccer, but I've never shied away from a few flicks with Topspin every now and then, especially when the game released all the way back in like 2011 as in the last iteration. But this game here, this one looks definitely good. It's going to get your blood pumping if you're a tennis fan, and I'm hoping this new edition will be no different from the old ones in some senses. Now this new iteration of Topspin though promises new content, including new faces and legends and modes and a lot more, and you'll be sharpening your skills in practice mode or going toe-to-toe with tennis legends like Roger Federer or Serena Williams. You'll also go against rising stars like Carlos Alcaraz, or better yet, you can challenge your friends and family in local or online matches to show them who is the better player. Topspin 2K25 arrives on Xbox on April 26. So we have the game Zombies, Aliens, and Guns. This is a high-octane top-down shoot-'em-up that takes you to the good old days of classic shoot-'em-up games from the 90s, and this game throws you right into the heart of the action. There's an alien invasion that's turned pretty much everybody into mindless zombies and violent mutants, and you are this planet's last hope of survival, and that requires you going through 33 intense levels of carnage, facing off against a variety of enemies and environmental challenges and epic boss battles. But not to worry, you guys got an arsenal of deadly weapons at your disposal, including rifles, shotguns, and bazookas, and this one does come out for Xbox Series X on April 26. And if you guys are looking for the very best games to play this 2023 and this April on Game Pass, check that video on the screen.